Hello, my name is Cjbaker, real estate broker with Keller Williams experience. Today's seminar is going to talk about how you can prepare to sell your home. The first step is to identify your goal. What is your motivation for wanting to sell? Now, I get sellers all the time. They call me and they say, "Hey CJ, I want to sell my home, but we're in no rush. We want to try listing high and test the market and see what happens." And in those cases, I usually tell those sellers, this is not the right time to sell. Let's wait until you're serious. Because in real estate, pricing and timing is everything. And if we price incorrectly, if we price too high, then you're going to lose that window of opportunity to find your right buyer. And then it's going to sit, and then it's going to be an unsuccessful sale. So wait until it's the right time and you know you're ready to move. Now, the for sale by owner dilemma is usually right when you decide you want to sell your home. It can be tempting to want to list for sale by owner because you're saving on realtor commission, or so you think. But according to the National Association of Realtors, the number one issue that for sale by owners face is pricing their home correctly. And as I mentioned, pricing and timing is everything. So if you price it incorrectly, if you're pricing it on an emotional gut feeling as opposed to the facts and market data, then you're going to end up wasting your time. So do yourself a favor and list with the realtor that's going to be able to give you an accurate price so that you take advantage of that small window of opportunity you have at the beginning. Also, 88% of serious qualified buyers are working with a realtor. This is from the National Association of Realtors. So if 88% of the qualified serious buyers are working with the realtor, that means the other 12% that are not working with the realtor are typically unqualified, they're not very serious, and they're looking for bargains. So as a for sale by owner, you're going to find yourself wasting a lot of time dealing with buyers that are not qualified, they're not serious, and they're making very low offers. You want to make sure you're marketing your home to that 88%, not the 12%. As a for sale by owner, you're going to find yourself having to invest a lot of your own time into selling your home. When buyers want to come through to see your property, you have to be home. So if you're working an office job, or if you're working a job that requires you to travel, you're going to have to be home to show that property. And I can tell you as a realtor that I show property all throughout the day and night. I'm showing property at 8 o'clock in the morning, all the way till 9 o'clock at night even. So make sure that you have the time to commit if you are going to go that route. You also have an increased liability selling on your own. When you work with the realtor, that realtor's brokerage has insurance to cover their liability. When you're selling on your own, the risk falls in your hands. According to the National Association of Realtors, sellers using a realtor net approximately 22% higher than those that don't. So if you're worried about saving 5-6%, keep in mind that working with the realtor, you're going to net a higher price. Now, once you determine that this is the right time to sell, you want to make an action plan. The first step is to hire your realtor. Work with a realtor that you're compatible with, that you like, someone that has a good understanding of the market, is experienced, and knows what they're talking about. I also recommend that as the seller, you have your own inspection. Having an inspection before you list will uncover any hidden issues that are involved with the property. And that will give you the time to plan to address those issues. You can fix those before you list them. And then you know you're listing a clean home with peace of mind. Instead of waiting until the buyers have their own home inspection at the very last minute before closing, and then you're faced with a difficult decision of, do we offer credit? Do we fix it? What do we do? So make sure that you're well prepared. Have your own inspection. Once you have your inspection, then you want to sign the disclosure forms. Anything that you know that's physically wrong with the property needs to be signed off on. And then you're going to set the price with your realtor. Your realtor is going to conduct a CMA, comparative market analysis. And that is when we look at comparable properties that have sold recently in the surrounding area. And we compare what they sold for. Now, we'll make adjustments for certain things, like if your kitchen is remodeled and the other properties that we're comparing are not remodeled, we'll make those adjustments. But comparing similar properties that have sold recently is the best way to determine price. Once you have the price set and the contract between you and your realtor signed, then it is time to prepare your home for sale. You're going to declutter and you're going to stage your property. Now, we talked about price a little bit, but this here shows you the importance of price and timing. You can see during the first 3 weeks that your property is listed is when you're going to have the most buyer activity. The first 3 weeks is when you're going to have your first open house, your broker tour. It's when the property hits the MLS for the first time and all online websites. It's when the postcards go out. And it's when it hits our social media. It's when it's going to draw the most attention to your buyers. And so if you're priced too high, this wave of buyers are going to be turned off. And some may choose to not make an offer. Some may choose to look at other properties. If it's priced too high, you're going to lose out on this huge wave of buyer activity. That's why I recommend pricing it from the start in line with the market. Take advantage of every single one of these good, qualified, capable buyers and put yourself in a position where you're going to receive multiple offers. That way you can choose the highest, best offer, as opposed to pricing it too high, letting it sit, and then having to make price cuts. And then it becomes a downward spiral effect of having to make price cuts because your buyers will be waiting for them. This chart shows you the value you can expect to get back with certain improvements. When you go to sell, you must keep in mind that renovations, improvements you make are going to lose a little bit of value over time. So for instance, if you finish your basement for $100,000 10 years ago, you're not going to get that full $100,000 back. It's going to be devalued a little bit. It's going to be depreciated a little bit because it's not a new basement anymore. So you can expect to get somewhere around 60% back. Now we can build that back into the price. So if it was a $100,000 renovation, you would end up getting somewhere around $60,000 back. We'd build that into the price. But as the seller, just keep in mind that your renovations that you've made are going to decrease in value a little bit. So we can't add the full face value amount of every single renovation that's been made during your time in the home. These are some staging tips that are very important. The first one is to paint. Painting can make a huge difference. And I always recommend painting in neutral colors so that it's appealing to everyone. Same with carpeting. If you have carpeting that's older, especially if it's taken abuse from children and pets and has stains, it's worn out, replace the carpet. It's fairly inexpensive and it makes a huge difference. You want to deodorize, depersonalize. If you have pictures of family and pets, make sure that those are taken down during your showings because buyers want to come through and visualize the home as their own. If they see your pictures, it's going to be harder for them to visualize that as their own. Each room should serve a purpose. Make sure that each room is configured into a room. So if you have a 5-bedroom house and one room is being used as an office/storage space, make it into a 5th bedroom. Make sure you're utilizing each room. And also make sure that you don't have any dead space. If there is dead space, turn it into something that can be useful, like a mini office or sitting area. Add storage. When buyers come through, they want to be able to store their things. You can go to Ace Hardware, Home Depot, and buy storage units or closet organizers, and your buyers will notice that. Update the kitchen and bathroom. Now notice that I say update and not renovate. You don't need to take on a huge project, but making simple updates to dated rooms, such as changing out the faucets, changing out the shower curtains, repainting, things of that nature can make a huge difference. And then finally, landscape. Make sure that your front yard is freshly cut grass, the snow is removed. You want to make sure that it's visually appealing from the outside as well as the inside. Today's buyers come from mostly the internet. You can see 51% come from the internet, 34% come from a realtor, 8% signage, 4% friend, relative, 2% from a home builder, 1% from the newspaper, and 1% directly from the seller. This is important when we go to develop your marketing plan. We typically don't take out newspaper ads anymore because they're ineffective. We focus mainly on strong online marketing. The best way to make sure that your listing is found online is through SEO optimization techniques, through professional photography, professional videography, in some cases with drones. Also, we're going to make sure that your property is listed on the MLS and all online websites, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, social media. Not only is it going to go on the office's social media and your agent's social media, but it should also be going on your own social media. And tag your family, friends, make sure they're sharing your listing. Brochures, pamphlets, and flyers will be made to go to the open house and the broker tours, and then finally office networking. If you're with the larger traditional brokerage, such as Keller Williams, we have multiple offices. And so we take it upon ourselves to make sure that our listing, your listing, is being networked throughout all the offices. And every office is aware that your home is for sale, to see if we have any buyers. Once you have an accepted offer, it goes into attorney review. Now, attorney review consists of 10 business days, 5 days for the seller, 5 days for the buyer. During this time, the buyer is going to have their inspection, the bank is going to do an appraisal, and negotiations will continue to take place. Once you have a closing date, your closing costs are going to include your loan payoff, transfer taxes, recording fee, survey fee, title insurance, realtor commissions, attorney fee, and prorated taxes. These costs can add up to around 6 to 10% of the sale price of your home. That's why I suggest that you live in your home at least 5 years before you go to sell, because you want to make sure that that home has enough time to increase in value and appreciate to offset these costs. Otherwise, you can take a loss. And that just about wraps up our seminar today. If you have any further questions or need any assistance with selling your home, please comment below, message me directly, and if you're looking for a realtor, I would love to be considered, so please reach out to me and give me a call. You can reach me at 630-484-3600. Thanks everyone, have a great day.